Welcome to Daily Steps from One Extraordinary Marriage, where we outline simple steps that you can take to have the ultimate marriage adventure. I'm Tony DeLorenzo, your co-host, along with my beautiful wife, Elisa. In today's show, we answer the question, what can I do if I have a problem with delayed ejaculation?
According to an article posted in Medical News Today, delayed ejaculation is the least common form of male sexual dysfunction. However, it still impacts an estimated 1% to 4% of men. That's a lot of guys that are being impacted by this condition. And the fact of the matter is that one of the most important things that you can do is to identify what the cause is. And
let us just be clear here. There are two forms that typically are seen and guys understand. Premature ejaculation, which is that's a quick ejaculation. It could also mean that it even happens prior to intercourse. Now, a delayed is on that other side of it. It's that you are having intercourse and yet you're unable to ejaculate.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you clarified that, in this particular show that we're just focusing singularly on delayed ejaculation.
Delayed, yes.
And, in doing the research for the show, looking at, mayoclinic.org, a more trusted source out there, Mayo says that it can be a number of different factors that cause this. And they break down into three major categories. And the reason I want to share these with you is because, so often when we have any type of condition, but specifically when we have sexual conditions, right, we get into this place where I just have a problem, right? And it's just kind of this blanket.
And it's a physical problem. It's just like my body's not working and I can't ejaculate.
Right. And yes, physical situations can be one cause. They're not the only cause.
Correct.
Right? So physical could be things like certain birth defects that affected the male reproductive system, or if there were injuries to the pelvic nerves that control orgasm, right? There are nerves that control that. If they're not working properly, you're going to have problems. If there have been infections, right? Certain infections like urinary tract infections can impact the ability to orgasm. But the physical is just one component, guys. There can also be psychological components to the inability to orgasm, the inability to ejaculate. And this could come from things like maybe you've got depression or anxiety. Maybe you're having performance anxiety in the bedroom, right? And you're so much in your head that you can't actually have an orgasm because you're thinking about it too much. Maybe there are relationship problems, right? There's stress in the relationship. You guys are going through a tough season right now. There's poor communication. And so you're thinking about the relationship while you're trying to have sex. Yay for thinking about the relationship. I'm not going to tell you that's a bad thing. But because you're thinking about it in that place, you're having trouble actually getting to the point where you can ejaculate.
And as a husband, this also can come from your job, your business, come from finances. It can come from things that are external and outside of the marriage union. These are other things. These are other stressors that are upon you that you may be going through during this season of life that's causing you to have an issue with ejaculating.
Another one that falls into that psychological component that I think is important to mention is that if you view pornography, it can actually, because of the impact of pornography and masturbation and just that whole sensation and what it's like when you're masturbating versus actual sexual intercourse, that can actually create a delayed ejaculation as well. And that's something that, a lot of men don't know about, but because the sensation is different between your hand and a woman, it can cause
a woman's vagina
that can cause delayed ejaculation.
Correct. And having gone and been down that road, I viewed pornography for 18 years of my life, have been free of it for many, many years now. I can attest to this wholeheartedly. There is definitely a very different feeling between the hand, the vagina, and what is actually even going on in your mind that allows you to ejaculate.
Absolutely. And the last category of causes are medications. Right? So often we're prescribed medications or we take over-the-counter medications and we don't read the fine print on what all of those wonderful side effects are. And oftentimes side effects can be in the realm of sexual performance.
Yes.
Right? It can be things like loss of libido. It can be things like inability to orgasm. Those things can show up, but we don't have those conversations with our doctors. or they don't have the conversation with us one way or another. And I just want to say, as we're talking about medications specifically, we're not telling you to get off your medications.
Yeah, that's something that you need to go do and discuss with your doctor. We are not doctors. We are not medical professionals. We are just bringing this up so that way you get the holistic care that you need to address this area in your life and in your marriage.
You have to know so that you can go be informed when you have conversations with your doctors, right? Because there are certain high blood pressure medications that can impact the ability to ejaculate. There are certain antidepressants, alcohol. Let's just talk about alcohol, right? Because it does have an impact on your ability to sexually perform. So you need to be aware that the things that you're doing or the things that you're ingesting can have an impact on your ability to ejaculate with your spouse. So these are the causes, but what do you do now that you know you've got these causes or potentially have these causes, right? It gives you something to explore. You're thinking, okay, maybe it's something physical. Guys, do your wives a favor and go to the doctor, right? Don't let this be one of those macho things where you're like, I never go to the doctor. I'm not going to the doctor now. And I'm sure as heck not going to the doctor to talk about delayed ejaculation. I'm going to tell you, for the sake of your marriage, get over yourselves and please go do this. You're doing it for yourself first. And you're doing it for your marriage. Go see your doctor. If you're on medications and you don't know what the side effects are, please ask the question. Call your doctor up. Research the side effects online. I mean, good grief, we can find every prescription drug, whatever, on the internet. Look it up. At least know so that when you go to your next doctor's appointment, you can say, okay, hey doc, I'm having this problem. Is there another treatment? Is there another, dosage? Is there something, because this isn't working for me.
Right.
You go in there informed. And if there's a psychological cause, if you're dealing with stress or anxiety or depression, if you've got relationship issues, if you've got all this stuff going on in your head, it's kind of like going to the doctor. It's time to get help. What I've learned after being married to Tony for 22 years is that there are a lot of things that he has weighing on him at any given time. And he doesn't always tell me what's going on. And that's fine. I'm not saying there's anything with that. But men, you need someone to talk to. You need someone to unburden yourself so that you can be fully present with your spouse. And it's not a sign of weakness if you get help in any of these areas. It's a sign of strength, and it's a sign of commitment to the vows that you made to your wife, that you will go and say, you know what, I need help in this area of my life.
For more information on this topic, check out oneextraordinarymarriage.com/379.